Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Mustache MMA, and welcome to Parlay Plays, Episode 8, UFC Fight Night, Santos versus Ankalaev. I'm going to go through this card and create a couple different variations of parlays. Those variations are going to be even money parlays. I'm going to put 1 unit on these parlays, juicy parlays, half units on these, and then long shot parlays, quarter units on those. Even money parlays are anywhere from about even to plus 200. Juicy parlays anywhere from plus 300, plus 800. Long shot parlays 1,000, plus 1,000 or more. So yeah, before I get into this card, I'm going to share the results of last week. So I had 2 wins and 4 losses, 3.5 units in play and 5.16 units returned, so a net of plus 1.66 units. Not too shabby. And you can actually see, my record for the parlays, or my returns for the parlays for all the other events of this year as well. Moving on to the specific plays, so I was 2 for 2 in the even money parlays, and then over 2 and over 2 in juicy and long shot parlays. But anyway, so Covington money line over 2.5, Rodriguez money line over 1.5. That one hit. Holland KO or TKO or decision, and then Dos Anjos KO, TKO or decision also hit. And then this one was really close to hitting. Jacoby, Michael O, fight goes distance. Ulanbekov, Elliott, fight goes distance. Agapova, Morozov, fight goes distance. 2 out of 3 legs hit. Agapova, Morozov did not go the distance. Morozov gets the second round sub. And then we got Holland, Oliveira, fight goes the distance. Mitchell decision. Holland gets the second round TKO. So 1 for 2 for that. Elliott decision, Malarkey decision. Elliott gets the nod in the decision. Malarkey gets the loss. Turner got a second round TKO. And then Klein KO, TKO, second or third round. Hardy KO, TKO, first or second round. Hardy got smashed in the first. Klein won a split decision. So yeah, and then just overall results here for the card you can see. So this is parlay plays and best bets combined. So 9 of 7, 12.5 units in play, 20.56 units returned. So 8.06 units net, positive 8.06 units returned. So pretty good card overall last week. Looking to keep that up this week. So yeah. Now let's go ahead and get into our parlays for UFC Fight Night, Santos versus Ankalaev. So first, we'll start with the even money parlays. These are anywhere from even money to plus 200. 1 unit on these guys. So first, even money parlay, Miranda Maverick money line and over 1.5, and then Aldrich Robertson fight starts third round. Struggled to talk through that one. Anyway, that comes out to plus 140 over on DraftKings. So the first leg, Miranda Maverick money line over 1.5. I really favor Miranda Maverick in this one. Sabina Mazo may be able to have a chance to edge out a decision, but I don't think so. Only way she does if she keeps this one on the feet majority of the time, which Miranda Maverick, she does have very good wrestling. She has good top control, top pressure, and we've seen in the past that Mazo, when she does get taken down and put on her back, she can't really do much. She seems to be just there for the rest of the round. She doesn't have any really submission threats on her back. She doesn't seem to be able to improve her position or be able to work her way up to the feet. So I do think that Miranda Maverick will have some success getting those takedowns, getting that top control, and this fight will definitely go over that 1.5 mark. So yeah, second leg, Aldrich Robertson fight to start the third round. I do really like this one to go the distance, and I do favor Aldrich in this one. But to start the third round, I think is a pretty good parlay piece. So Gigi Aldrich has been a decision machine. She's tough. She's durable. The biggest factor in this one is she has pretty decent takedown defense. That's where Robertson is going to want to take it to the ground, and that's our only essential fade here, to where where the fight could be finished. Because Aldrich is not going to get KO TKO, nor is Robertson. So just fading that Robertson submission. So Robertson's wrestling is totally okay. I think it's subpar, to be honest. So I think Aldrich is going to have success in stuffing the takedowns. If Robertson does get the takedowns, I see Aldrich being able to pop up back to the feet pretty quickly, like she has in her previous fights. So for all those reasons, I definitely like this one to at least start the third round. This also covers us in case Robertson is on short notice, in case she completely gasses and maybe there is a TKO by Aldrich, or if Robertson finally does get a successful takedown after a while and is able to work on her grappling skills from a tired Aldrich in the third round and maybe clinch and get some kind of submission. Either way, I don't see it happening. I do see it go the distance, but we do have a little leeway with fight starts the third round. So recapping that, it's Miranda Maverick money line and over 1.5 with Aldrich Robertson. Fight starts the third round. That comes at the plus 140 over on DraftKings. Second even money parlay. Remember 1 unit on these guys. Semmelsberger Fletcher fight starts the second round, and Santos Ankalaev fight starts the third round. Getting a little repetitive with my parlays here and fight start X round bets, but nevertheless I like both of these. So first leg, Semmelsberger Fletcher fight starts the second round. We've seen Semmelsberger knock out 2 guys in under 16 seconds. Both those guys are super chinny. Sano didn't even really belong to be in the UFC. Late minute replacement, just kind of was there. And then Jason Witt, one of the chinniest guys in the entire division. So Semmelsberger definitely does have power. Don't get me wrong. But I come into question and say, okay, are there other guys who are maybe able to take those shots and eat them and stay alive, or have better sound defense and are able to dodge those? Because Semmelsberger does also have 2 other fights in the UFC. Both have gone to decision, 1 win, 1 loss. Fletcher, on the other hand, he's also a pretty hot starter, aggressive, in your face. But he does tend to use his wrestling a lot. So, he'll get in there, throw a lot of spinning stuff, because generally he does have a reach disadvantage, which he does in this one. And then eventually he, tries to change levels, take it to the ground if he can, and go there. So I think Fletcher is going to be very cautious of that Semmelsberger power. And I think, he has good movement on the feet as well. I didn't say that. Good side to side, back and forth movement. So Semmelsberger might have a problem reading that initially in the first round. And then Fletcher also, I look to him to engage the wrestling early and the clinch early. Also try to get a takedown, work maybe the grappling early. It's going to be a lot of different stuff we might see in the first round. I just don't see a finish in the first round from either of these guys. So yeah, that's why I like that first leg. Second leg, Santos Ankalaev fight starts the third round. So we do have Santos, obviously, who's super live for a knockout. Anytime he does have that power, it is light heavyweight. So, there is that opportunity, but I just don't see it on the Ankalaev side. Ankalaev has just such superior striking defense. And, obviously Ankalaev is going to be very, very on notice that power in Santos is powerful, to be honest, and he could get put out. So he's going to be very cautious of that power, not going to really play into it, going to be very alert, chipping away at Santos little by little until Santos, gets a little tired and starts fading a little bit. Ankalaev may shoot a takedown. Generally, he does like to keep it on the feet. He doesn't really wrestle too often, but he can wrestle if he wants to or if he needs to. And that's where Santos really isn't that good. Santos does have trouble getting back to his feet. Santos can get finished on the ground. He did by Glover Teixeira, although that was to a submission. So, case in point, he was able to fend off some of Glover Teixeira's ground and pound and keep himself alive. So we'll see what happens here, but I do favor this one to at least go to the third round and start the third round. I like Ankalaev to either get a late finish or a decision victory here. I'm not sure, but I think Santos can survive at least 2 rounds. So Yeah, again, recapping that even money parlay. Semmelsberger Fletcher fight starts the second round, and Santos Ankalaev fight starts the third round, plus 144 over on FanDuel. Moving on, we got to our Juicy Parlays. These are plus 300 to plus 800. We throw a half unit on these guys. So our first Juicy Parlay is going to be a three-legger. Maverick by decision, Pereira by KO TKO, and Yadong by KO TKO. That comes at the plus 528 over on FanDuel. So again, we're throwing another Miranda Maverick play in here. I don't feel bad about it because I do really favor Maverick to get a decision. My last video, I was iffy. I said I was probably going to throw in parlays, and here I am throwing two legs and two separate parlays with Miranda Maverick in it. So anyway, Miranda Maverick by decision. Again, I'm not going to go into a whole spiel because I just went over it earlier, but I do really favor her wrestling and her top control game to really just gain minutes and gain that top control time in the judge's eyes and get the decision victory. She could get a submission, but I don't see it. Mazo seems to be pretty, although she's not good on her back and getting back up and improving her position, she seems to be able to play it safe. She's been taken down there a lot before and hasn't been finished. Only one submission loss on her resume, and that was due to club and sub. So can't hold too much weight to that submission loss, if you will. So yeah, second leg, Pereira KO TKO. I just like Pereira to get the KO here. I mean, don't get me wrong, Bruno Silva does have power as well, but Pereira is much more technical on the feet. He also has probably the power here is equivalent. If not, maybe Pereira does have the better power as well. There is a chance that Silva maybe tries to wrestle, maybe tries to work his jiu-jitsu in there, but I doubt it. Bruno Silva is pretty, he may work it in early, but it may not work either. Pereira has been working with Glover Teixeira on that, ground game, on that get-up game. So I like Pereira to eventually get the KO TKO over Bruno Silva. And then we have Yadong by KO TKO, Song Yadong. Marlon Moraes has just been super chinny lately. He's been finished his last three opponents. Even Merab Dashvili got a finish who never gets finishes in the UFC or even in his career in general. Granted, Moraes was a little gassed out after trying to go for the finish on him because he almost finished Dashvili. But, Yadong, he's got super power. He's got a super good chin. So if Marlon Moraes does try to, throw some power out there early, I don't see Yadong going down. He's got such a good chin. He's taken huge shots before. Also, if Moraes tries to mix in the wrestling early, Yadong has a really good get-up game. He's been working at Team Alpha Male on his wrestling. So I just like Yadong. His striking is crisp. He's got fast hands. He's got big power. Moraes has been very chinny lately. I like him to eventually get the KO TKO. So again, Maverick decision, Pereira KO TKO, Yadong KO TKO, plus 528 over on FanDuel. Second Juicy Parlay, Moutinho Cananelli fight goes the distance, and Dober McKinney fight goes the distance. Comes out to plus 472 over on DraftKings. So Moutinho and Cananelli fight goes the distance. I do really favor this one a lot, and this was also a best bet play as well. Reason being, Moutinho and Cananelli, the value here is really good. It's at minus 110. Both of these guys, all their losses, they've been finished. Brain fart. But all those losses have been to like pretty notable guys. Moutinho, he's pretty durable as well. We saw him get beat up by Sean O'Malley for 3 rounds essentially, and didn't really go down at all. And he's been finished a couple of times in weird positions, ground and pound, and or essentially just getting grinded to a pulp until he can't go anymore. Cannonelli doesn't necessarily throw that type of volume, do that to Moutinho. Moutinho, all of his finishes have come via, all his wins, I believe, have come via finish, but, none of those wins are really, actually, sorry, scratch that. A majority of his wins have come by finish, I believe, but, those finishes that he does have, they're not to really great competition. So Cannonelli is one of the better competition that Moutinho has faced, besides Tony Gravely and Sean O'Malley. So also Cannonelli, his last 2 wins have come via decision as well. So all those reasons I like that to go to decision. Dober McKinney, fight goes distance for this leg as well. I do favor this as well. Dober, really good, durable guy, good chin, good grappling defense. Yes, he's been submitted a couple times in his career, most recently to Islam Makhachev, best grappler in the division. And then also a little whiles back, he was submitted by Beneil Dariush, who also probably has the second best grappling in the division. So you can't really tout that too much. Also really good chin. I believe he's never been knocked out before. He probably has. He has 11 losses on his resume. I don't have his resume up, but nevertheless, he can take shots. McKinney, on the other hand, he's been finished twice technically in his career. One was due to a doctor stoppage. One actually was a TKO, KO. He got flying kneed when he went in for a takedown. Just his opponent timed it really well. I don't think his chin is really compromised because of that. I mean, I think a lot of people would go out when they're going in for a takedown and get hit with a flying knee. It's just timed perfectly, essentially. Dober, he does have pretty good hands. I think his last 3 wins have come via finish, but 2 of those guys are super chinny, and one guy just got caught really bad with a really good counter. And then McKinney, his last 5 wins, we all know, have come by finish in the first round. But again, I think Dober's durable here. I think he can fend off McKinney's grappling. I think he can fend off his offensive attack as well on the feet. So I like that one to also go the distance. I favor. I probably favor Dober to get the win by decision, but I do really like the odds on McKinney, like I've said in my other video. Anyway, that Juicy Parlay, Moutinho, Cannonelli, fight goes distance. Dober, McKinney, fight goes distance, comes at the plus 472 over on DraftKings. Moving on up to our long shot parlays. These are plus 1,000 or more, quarter units on these guys. And I do really like both of these long shot parlays. We'll see if one or both of them can hit. But first one is going to be Kirk KO TKO and Aldrich by decision. So Kirk KO TKO. I don't understand what the line movement is going on here. He's going up against Damon Jackson. Damon Jackson cannot do anything on the feet. He's not really a good striker at all. He's not that good of a wrestler either. He's a really high-level grappler, though. So obviously he wants to try to get this one to the ground any way he can. Kirk, he has some pretty good striking. He also has some pretty good wrestling. Excuse me. And then he also has really good grappling to go along with that. I think his grappling can fend off all the attacks that Damon Jackson's going to put him in. And I think Kirk is going to have good success in stuffing Damon Jackson's takedowns because Damon Jackson's wrestling is trash. Let's be frank. And his stand-up is also trash. So, combination here. We're looking at all these factors. Kirk is going to be able to survive the grappling attack of Damon Jackson. He's going to be able to keep this one on the feet for the majority of the time if he wants to keep it there. And his striking is much higher level than Jackson. So we've seen Jackson get clocked out and knocked out before, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens again here. So give me Kirk KO TKO for the first leg. Second leg, Aldrich by decision. I just like JJ Aldrich to get this decision. I know we kind of talked about this earlier on the even money parlays. But I like Aldrich. I think she gets back up to her feet pretty quickly if she gets taken down. She also has pretty good takedown defense. Robertson's wrestling isn't the best. She obviously wants to get this one to the ground in order to win. I think Aldrich is going to be able to piece Robertson up on the feet if she keeps it there. And I think she will be able to keep it there a majority of the fight and get a pretty clear unanimous decision victory. Recapping that long shot parlay, Kirk KO TKO and Aldrich decision plus 1,321 over on FanDuel. And our last parlay and last long shot parlay of the card, we have Kennedy by decision and Roundtree money line and over 1.5. This comes out to plus 1,118 over on DraftKings. So Kennedy by decision, again, going back, I'm kind of repeating here again, but I like Kennedy over Matinho here. I think he's faced probably better competition. I think he's a little bit better rounded everywhere in the wrestling and the grappling. Striking may be close, and you may give it to Matinho, but Kennedy does, have, pretty good fiery way. I just think a lot of people are really picking Moutinho because he's the bigger name, because he just shot Fallon O'Malley. Kennedy has been on a pretty, I think, like a 3-fight losing skid. He's also 42. But I think it's a really close fight, to be honest. And I do slightly edge Kennedy. And like I said, I do think this one goes the distance. So give me the Kennedy decision for the first leg of the parlay. And then we have Roundtree, money line, and over 1.5. This one I was also pretty split on as well, but I do favor Roundtree in this one. He's the bigger guy. He's fought at light heavyweight most of his career, and fighting his opponent, blanking on his name, Robertson. But yeah, he doesn't. Robertson usually fights at middleweight, coming up to lightweight. He's fought at lightweight before, so he's probably going to be the smaller guy. Roundtree has really good striking, really good power. We've seen him put on some high pressure, high pace going on the last fight he was in against Batauskas, and he did pretty good. He was kind of all over him. Robertson. Or Roberson, I'm blanking on his name, but nevertheless, he's never been KO'd in his career, so I don't see Roundtree being the one to do it, but he could do it in the later rounds, potentially. Roundtree's cardio is a little questionable as well, but, I think Roundtree can probably squeak out the first 2 rounds if he doesn't get a finish in the later rounds, and, then that hits, potentially gets the decision victory and or a late KO, which would work for this leg here. So yeah, again, recapping that last parlay, Kennedy by decision, Roundtree money line, and over 1.5 comes out to plus 1,118 over on DraftKings. All right, those are all the parlays for the card. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. If you've enjoyed, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. If you got any parlays that you're playing, let me know down in the comments. Or if you're tailing or fading any of my parlays, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear why. Thanks a lot, guys, and I will see you next week for next week's card. Take it easy.